Brian, we'll get to the chaos at the airport and the president's speech in a moment. First, I just wanted to ask a basic question. We've spent over $1 trillion in Afghanistan. Over 6,000 American troops and U.S. contractors have died. 47,000 Afghan civilians have died, and 51,000 Taliban fighters have died. But in the end, after 20 years of fighting, what have we accomplished?
Frank, at the end of the day, after 20 years, maybe the one silver lining in all of this is that there's not been a terrorist attack on American soil like the 9/11 attack in 20 years. But that's about it. It has been a real tough slog in Afghanistan, as it has been through the centuries, going back to Alexander the Great.
Brian, let's talk now more about that frightening situation, the images coming out of Afghanistan at the airport. At least 7 people have reportedly been killed, some of those trying to climb onto planes, people climbing fences to get into the airport, running alongside those planes as they're taking off. There are images of at least 2 people falling to their deaths while climbing on those planes. How can something like this happen?
This was a bungled exit, Julie, and there's just no way around it. The council member from Hayward earlier put her finger on it. It just was a disaster all the way around. The swiftness of the Taliban takeover is one thing, but the lack of planning and execution is a whole other thing. And I imagine there are a whole lot of people in the Pentagon, the State Department, and the White House who were not happy this evening.
Brian, what are your thoughts on what the president said today? He said that he stands by his decision, that it's the right decision to make to pull all of U.S. troops out. Did anything else that he said in particular stick out to you?
Well, first, the fact is the American public was tired to some extent of the Afghan experience, over 70% by polling saying we should exit. I think the president did take responsibility for the swiftness of the problems there, but a little bit of deflection in that speech, too. For example, talking about the last administration, when President Joe Biden came into office, he certainly reversed a whole lot of things the previous president had done, and he could have reversed course on Afghanistan as well. But if you have been watching Joe Biden over many, many years, this has been his stand on Afghanistan and foreign wars throughout his entire career. That's why you heard a very demonstrative president today talking about foreign wars. And we ended up nation building at the end of the day. We went in there to take care of terrorism, and we ended up trying to build a nation.
All right, Brian, we're going to leave it there tonight. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks,
You're very
Brian.
welcome.
The city of Fremont is now home to one of the Bay Area's biggest Afghan